All right, in the last section, we have completed the CSS part of the project. In this section, we're going to create and work on the JavaScript part of the project, and we're going to calculate the age based on the birthday of the person who put the information inside this input. So the first things we need to do is to create a JavaScript file. So I'm gonna come back to Visual Studio Code. I wanna open the Explorer section using Ctrl+Shift+E, and here we create a new file and we call it index.js, and we just need to add a link to it. Let me close the style.css. So inside the index.html, we need to add a script tag, which it's going to call this JavaScript file, and we need to add it at the end of the body section. We just write down sc, we accept the script tag with the src of index.js. Because the both files are located at the same directory, the address would be just the name of the file. The reason we put it at the end is because we want all these things to be loaded first on the browser, and then we call the JavaScript, because otherwise we don't have access to these elements using JavaScript. So now, first things first, we want to add an event listener to this button, the calculate age. So this button. So we need to bring this button here. So in order to bring the button to here, we just target the button. I can add a button. We can add an ID here. We just say btn for the ID. And here we just create a constant. We call it btn element. And this is going to be equal to document, because we want to target all the browser. And then we just use get element by ID method. And we pass the name of the ID that we have passed to the button, which is btn. Now we have access to the element. We can just add the event listener to it. We just add an event listener, add, what is this? We add an event listener to it, and the event we want to listen is click. And then we can just call a function after this. We can just call the function calculate age, and then we can just create the function here. We just create a function, we call it calculate age. Just for now, I'm gonna console log we just console log clicked. So now if we just bring this website to the right side and open the console using F12, and here let me clear the console, I click on calculate age, you see that we're console logging clicked. So instead of console logging, I want to calculate the age based on the input. So first things first, we want to get the input information. So the input here has an ID of birthday. So we can bring it here similar to here. We're just gonna copy this using Alt-Shift-Arrow down. I want to change this btn to using Ctrl-D. I want to choose both of them and then just say birthday. This is going to choose this birthday, the ID, and then just put the constant birthday element to it. Now we have access to this. So here first I want to just calculate the inside what we get. We just say birthday value, we get the value which is going to be equal to birthday element dot value. Let's console log this birthday value. So now if I change this one, for example, to 4th of April 2023, and then we click on calculate age, we just get this 2023 4/4. And if you choose something else, you can just choose any, for example, January 13, 2006. You can print it here because we are console logging. So we have calculate the value, and then if nothing is added as a value, for example, if the birthday value is equal to an empty string, we want to just alert please enter a valid of please enter your birthday. So now there is nothing here. If I click calculate age, there is an alert saying please enter your birthday. So we are going to prevent calculating if there's nothing here. Otherwise, if there is something there, we're gonna calculate the age. We just say const age is going to be equal to, we call a function called get age, and then we're just gonna pass this value. Okay, so we're gonna create this function. Let's create this function get age, which is going to get the birthday value. So we're going to create this function. It is very simple too. So we're going to first thing first, we want to get the current dates today, because we want to calculate, we need to subtract the birthday from the current date. So the current date is going to be equal to new date. This is the date is the constructor method from JavaScript. This is going to get the date from the browser. So if I now console log here current date, let's remove this. If I put something here, calculate age, as you can see, we are getting this current date, which is even that gives us the time too. 6th of April 2023, 11 o'clock. And then now, based on this one, if we, for example, we want to just get the year, we just say get full year. If we now console log, let's choose some date so we don't get an error. And then let's clear the console, and then we just click on calculate age, we get 2023. So the same method we can use to get the year from this birthday value. So if I console log birthday value dot get full year, and then we choose something here, we don't get an error. So we click on calculate age. We should we need to get this is the current date. We can just get the birthday date too. We need to get it because this is, we need to create a new date, but we need to pass, instead of the date, we just need to pass the birthday value. Now if we just get the full year by just passing birthday date dot get full year, let's test this one. we get 2023 birthday. But if we choose, for example, imagine 1985, if we just click on calculate age, we get 1985. Okay. So now we have the year of this year, current date, which is here, dot get full year, and then also we have the birthday year. So now we can just subtract that one and calculate the age. So we just say const age is equal to current date dot get full year minus birthday date dot get full year. Okay. Now, if we console log age, for example, I choose somewhere 1975, we get 48 years old. Okay. But this one is actually not always correct, because based on the months, for example, if you look at the time, for example, now it's April 2023 when I'm recording this video. If the birthday is before the April, you're actually 1 year older than the person who is born after the April. So we need to calculate the months as well, and then we know that if the person is born after the today or before today. So if it's after today, we have to subtract 1 from the person. Sorry, before this date, we need to subtract the time. So I'm going to calculate the months too. So I'm going to say const months and this is going to be equal. So we just can copy this one, and instead of get full year, I want to use another method, which is get months. Okay, now we have the months. Now we create a condition here. We just say if the months is less than 0, for example, if something happened and the month is less than 0, because if the current date is less than the birthday date, so the month is going to be less than 0. Or if the month is equal to 0, it means, for example, the current date and the birthday is both April, but now we have to calculate the day. So after this condition, we just say if this one happened, and if the current date dot get date, which is going to give us the day, is less than the birthday date dot get date. So if the month is equal to 0, but the day is less than that, so in both condition, month less than 0 or month equals 0 or the day is less than, we're going to decrease the age by 1. So we can do it by just saying age minus minus. So we have the age, for example, 24. Age minus minus is going to make it 23. So now this is going to solve the problem, and then after that we're going to return the age. We just say return age. So this is going to be output of this function, get age, and we get the age here inside the calculate age. So now here we can console log age. So let's calculate it. For example, let's choose, for example, 2012, January 6. It's 11 years old. But if this is April, after April, for example, May, let's see the error. Oh, because we want to change the age, we cannot use constant. We need to use let here. This should be a variable. Okay. So now let's do it again. Let's test 2012. It was 2012, January 6 was giving us 11. Now if we choose after April, for example, October, gives us 10 years old. So that guy is 1 year younger than the person who is born before the current date. So we are getting a correct age. But we want to show it here inside this instead of just console logging it. So instead of console logging, we're gonna get this element from the HTML. So we're going to get the element here because it's a paragraph with the ID of result. We can just target that one. We just create a constant. We call it, for example, result element, which is going to be equal to document dot get element by ID, and the ID is result. So now we can just change its text. So we just say result element dot inner text is going to be equal to, for example, we just make it dynamic. We just say your age. I added the backtick. Backtick is located on top of the tab key. So we just say your age is, and then we just add a $sign to make the variable. We add the age here, this variable here. And then another $sign, because it can be year or years. Because if a person is only 1 year old, you should say your age is 1 year old. But if it's more than one, we should be say your age is, for example, 2 years old. So I'm gonna make a condition here. We just add here, we just say if the age is greater than 1, just to say years, otherwise say year. And then we add the old at the end. Okay. So if the person is born, for example, last year, February, your age is 1 year old. If it's like a longer than that, for example, January 1990, your age is 33 years old. Okay, so we have accomplished this one. using JavaScript. So let's review what we have done. So we have got all the elements using the method called getElementById. We have created an event listener here for the button. If we click on it, we're going to call a function called calculateAge. And here we just get the birthday value by just setting birthday element dot value. If the value is empty, we're gonna say enter your birthday. Otherwise, we're going to call another function called getAge and pass this value. And we're going to calculate the age based on the current date and the birthday. We're going to calculate the age, and we got the condition if the month is less than 0 or the day is less. If the month is equal to 0, we're going to decrease the age by 1, and we're going to return the age, get the age here. We're going to put this text inside the result element using inner text, and we just make a condition to always write down a correct sentences. All right, that was it for creating this project. I hope you enjoyed and learned many things. See you in the next project.